Hello everybody, Toni-Maree here on TMTV, and today on the 3 for Free show, I'm about to sneeze. Hey, it's live. Today, as I was saying, on the 3 for Free show, I'm talking about the 3 Ps. Now, before I took a break last week, I started this theme of the 3 Ps, and we talked about, we talked about persevering and how that can be a good and a bad thing. Well, today I'm talking about procrastination, and next week's show is all about perfectionism. So, why do we procrastinate? Okay, I'm a recovered procrastinator. I lapse back occasionally, and I've done it all of my life. And one of the things that I know for a fact is that I procrastinate when I'm stressed. When I don't want to do something, I procrastinate. That's why we procrastinate, because we don't want to do whatever it is that we've got to do. It can be, for me, when I was at school, it was doing assignments. I was a nervous kid, so it was going to places where I didn't know anybody. When I became a businesswoman, my first video took me 3 months to do. And that wasn't even live. Now I'm doing it all the time. But I procrastinated. When I was in my depression, I procrastinated about leaving the house to the point that I got agoraphobia. So it is, hi Mara, you hear me? Yeah, right, procrastination. It is incredible. So, and it's something that affects a majority of us, and we don't talk about it a lot. It's kind of like the thing that sits underneath everyday living. Now, the one thing I want to do with this show is to get everybody to comment. I want you to share this around. You can't hear, but you can on my Facebook page. But right now, I'd love you to interact with each other. I'd love you to tell me right now, type in the comments, what you love to do to get out of procrastination. What tips that you've used that work. I'm going to give you my 3 for free, but I am not the only person who suffers from this. I'm not the only person who's got the answers, and this is why this is interactive, okay? TMTV is not just me sitting here talking at you. This is your chance to ask me questions. It's your chance to learn from me and from everybody else who's here on this call. So, procrastination, how do we solve it? Well, there's all sorts of ways. There's literally hundreds, but I'm going to give you my 3 really, really good tips. Okay? Now, I'm not talking about the stock standard stuff that everyone gives you. I'm talking about the stuff that is really going to help you get out of procrastinating. Okay? You know it is. You know what it is. You know you're doing it. So here's the first thing that you can do. Actually give yourself permission to procrastinate. Okay? Sounds strange, right? Most people say go and do something else, whatever. No, I'm saying, yeah, I love what Mara's just said. Break it down into smaller tasks. Love it. That's a great way to take the pressure off. Love that one. Thanks, Mara, for sharing. Love some more tips from everybody else here. So, what can we do? Well, if you give yourself permission to procrastinate, just like Mara's tip of breaking it down into smaller tasks, you actually take the pressure off. So let's imagine that you're procrastinating, and the pressure out of 10, 10 being the highest, would be a 10 out of 10, okay? The stress, the anxiety, the fear, whatever it is that's causing the procrastination is a 10 out of 10. If you give yourself permission to procrastinate, it's going to drop. Okay, it won't go down to a 2 or a 1, but it's going to drop, okay? And that's fantastic. But here's the really great thing, and the really key thing to step number 1, which is allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to procrastinate, is put a time limit on it. That will raise that up to from a 7 to probably an 8, but if you give yourself 10 minutes, half an hour, half a day, I don't care how long it is, but if you actually know that you're going to procrastinate for half a day, give yourself half a day. If the task's due in that half a day, because we often leave things to the last minute, then you have to be realistic about your time frame. And you do have to put yourself under a bit of pressure to get it done. But take the time. Even if all you take is 3 minutes and 3 breaths to just relax yourself a little bit, or sit in the sunshine, or have a cup of tea, whatever it happens to be, that's going to make a huge difference. Okay? It gets you out of procrastination. Sounds strange, but it works. Trust me. Number 2, tip number 2, right? So this is 3 for free. So this is number 2 for free. What do you do after you've given yourself permission and you've got to get back in there? So let's say we've dropped it down after we've taken half an hour. Say half an hour, we're at 6, okay? Because we've done whatever we want to do. Then we feel that stress level rising, the procrastination kicking in again. What do? Well, this is where you have to bite the bullet, okay? And you have to say to yourself, okay, let's get this done. But instead, as Mara said, instead of looking at this as this huge, gigantic task, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, grab your video phone. I don't care how you do it, but separate it into smaller tasks. The smaller, the better. Now, I'm not a details girl, so I tend to do myself like really quick checklists, but some people go into the nth degree. Again, don't go to the nth degree because that's procrastinating by doing your checklist. I recommend about 10 steps at the most. Okay, now the reason I say 10 at the most is because any more than that, your brain's going to go into overload and you're just going to freak out. You're only going to do, and this is your step 3, your 3 for free. Once you've got your list, you then put a piece of paper and you stick it over the bottom and you only keep the top 3. Okay, because the ones that come to your mind the first are the ones that are the most important. They get you started, they get you over that fear, that stress, that worry, whatever it is. It helps again to reduce that level of fear and that stress down to a manageable level. Once you've done 3, you can celebrate and you can say, yay, I actually started this thing, I got the 3 done, wasn't as hard as I thought. Then you can move your piece of paper and do the second set of 3. Now, why does 3 work? 3 works because our brain is wired to really only handle 3 things at the most at once. A lot of people find that difficult, but when you think about it, we're mostly doing 3 things at once anyway. Okay, because we're breathing, we're often talking or watching, and we're doing something at the same time. So our body can do 3 things at once. What I'm saying is doing them 1 at a time. But because we're doing 3 things at once, our brain's used to it. It can cope with 3. Can't cope with 10, can't cope with 60, but it can cope with 3. 1 is too little. 1 causes stress. 10 causes stress. 3 is magic. That's why I do my 3 for free. That's why this program's called 3 for free. You will remember 3 for free. You can do 3 for free. I get the most done in my day when I only set myself 3 things to do in a day. I might have a job list that's this big, but if I get through the 3 important things, then that's all that matters. Now here's a free tip, free, totally extra tip. When you're looking at a list, okay, so any list, separate it into categories. You need to do the things that are urgent. You need to do the things that are important, the things that can wait. Okay, so again, 3 things. Important, urgent, things that can wait. Okay, important, urgent, things that can wait. Get rid of the ones that can wait. Get rid of the urgent, the ones you want to do, and the middle ones, which is let's do the important ones. Because the ones that are screaming the loudest, the urgent ones, will get done anyway. Right? The ones that are urgent. So if on my list I've got urgent things to do, they'll get done if they're urgent. It's the things that are important that we don't do. And they're the things that are going to give us the most bang for buck, the most activity, the most action, the most results, and we'll feel heaps better. So here's my challenge to you, is to do the 3 for free when you're procrastinating. So let's just recap on what they were. The first one. Give yourself permission to procrastinate. Permission to procrastinate and put a time limit on it. Number 2, cut it down into smaller chunks. Create a list. Only a maximum of 10 in that list. No more than 10 for that particular task. Then what you do is you take the top 3, right? So that was tip 2, this is tip 3. Take the top 3 and do them first. Once you've done them, you can celebrate, you can have another bit of a relaxing, and you go again. Okay, so absolutely celebrate and have a break after that 3. That's really important. But go get those 3 done. Get the 3 for free happening. Love to hear how this goes for you. Put your comments in here. Give me your feedback. And come back next week where I'm going to be talking about perfectionism. How does it happen? Why does it happen? And 3 tips for free on how to get out of being a perfectionist. Recovering perfectionist here. We're women, it's a common theme. I'd love you to join me, same bat channel, same bat time next week at 11 o'clock here in the group. Then shoot over if you want to get this again in my Facebook page, Toni-Maree Hannan, where I will be talking about this again. And each program is slightly different. You get extra information, extra tips in each group. So it is worthwhile watching both. I'd love you to share it around. This is my gift to my community, to the world. I want to help as many people as possible. You've all heard me say this before. Please share this around. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, my Facebook page, toni-maree.com.au. I'm everywhere. Go and search me out. I look forward to connecting with you sometime soon. Until next week, stay awesome. Toni-Maree signing out. Ciao.